All right, what's up, everybody? Happy weekend to you. Hope you're having a good one so far. We got this trailer yesterday. Obviously, I put it up on my channel. It's in the chat link there at the top if you want to just go ahead and watch it straight through without any kind of talking over it and all that kind of stuff. We are going to break it down in depth here. And there's more to it than I think probably even we realize. There's quite a bit here, actually. And I don't know what it really... I've watched this trailer a bunch of times now. Pizza God, what's up, man? Good to see you again. I've watched this trailer a bunch of times now, and I absolutely love it. And I'm not even sure I could tell you exactly why I think it's so good. But I really think it's really good. And I kind of can't put my finger on exactly what. I mean, there's obviously some cool looking stuff. We got Richtofen and, I mean, we're going to get into it, but it's just... I'm so excited for Black Ops 6 Zombies at this point. It's ridiculous. I already thought the Terminus... We got the intro cutscene for that. We got the gameplay trailer. We got 17 minutes of footage from it, and that had me really hyped. And now this is just taking me over the top. Like... We are ramping up, man. I went back last night and watched like everything from Cold War that Treyarch has on their YouTube channel. I watched literally all their zombie stuff on that channel last night. Just kind of getting in the mind space of what we can maybe expect leading up to Black Ops 6, and also kind of once we get into the game itself, what they're going to have out for us. But, dude, I'm kind of crazy excited for this. Okay. So I don't want to waste a ton of time here at the beginning just kind of talking. I did want to let the notifications roll out, for a minute or so here to let people stroll in. Because usually when I do live streams, it's like it takes, well, at least for gameplay stuff, it takes a while for people to actually get around to coming in. So, but we'll just jump into this because, like I said, I don't want to just kind of have me talking at the beginning here. So now... One thing to keep in mind, I cannot play the sound. If you notice right down here, I have it on mute. And we're going to go till 27 seconds. So right here. Before we unmute. And that is because there is a song playing. It is the same song that ended Forsaken in Cold War. Okay? It's by Vera Lynn. Here. We'll Meet Again. Okay? You guys know the song by now. I almost started singing it, and I cannot sing at all, just to kind of give you like a little idea of, whatever. But we can kind of talk about this a little bit here in a minute. But again, I'm not going to, I literally cannot play it or else demonetized immediately. And, that's no good for me. So, there is no words happen, like the song cuts off at that 27-second mark before anybody actually says anything. So all you're seeing now, you can just, if you want to, like picture it in your mind, you've got that song playing over the views of everything that we're seeing here. So now, to me, I'm from New England. This looks very, very, very New England fall, autumn. Now, they're in Virginia, maybe, like Liberty Falls, West Virginia. I don't know what their autumns look like. I don't know if they have their trees change color the same kind of a way. So I don't know. I mean, this is all... Well, we're going to see this is all happening in Richtofen's head anyway. But anyway, let's roll into it. And like I said, when we hit that 27-second mark, I will unmute, and then we can actually listen. So we're just getting, I mean, very pastoral, countryside, very beautiful. The song's playing, diegetic music, a couple of cherries, grapes, whatever you got there. The wind kicks in, and then...
I'll get your sweater from the car.
Now, we're just going to watch right through this for the first time. I'm not going to say anything just yet after what I just did say, but then we're going to come back to all this kind of stuff, and we'll break it down again. There's a lot here that I find very curious. And then I got to talk over this music a little bit here. Blah, blah, blah. La, 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 la.
Run! For God's sakes!
Uah. Liberty Falls, West Virginia, February 18, 1991.
Dimensional breach in progress.
Sub-level 10, report.
Something's wrong with Sam. Dimensional breaches are occurring across the facility.
Secure your stuff. I'll handle Sam myself. Blanchard, secure the command post. Call in response teams. Get Liberty Falls locked down. Copy?
Copy.
Richtofen, get Director, Project Janus! Emergency! Override!
That's that little GIF we got the other day. Little teaser. I was like, no, what's that? What's that gonna be? Oh.
I swear to you, Sam, you'll never be free!
But Edward, I already am.
Dude, it's just so sick. Okay, so we're going to go back to the beginning here. Like, we just watched that one time just through, and now we're going to stop it, and we're going to kind of pick things out as we're going through it. I will skip over, again, the first 27 seconds because, again, I cannot play any music for you that's playing in the video. So we're going to kick this in. Now, that's obviously Edward Richtofen. That is his wife. That is his child in the background. We're going to go over some of this stuff as well. His name, the boy, is named Samuel. I just talked about this, I don't know, recently, like in the last week or so. It's very curious that his kid's name is Samuel for a couple of different reasons. You got to, by the way, everything you're seeing, works the same way with movies and TV, and same thing with video games, especially with the video game where everything they're doing, like they're literally drawing in. It's not like, at least in a movie, if you're shooting outside or something strange could happen, like a plane could fly by, a person walking in the background, if it's an unsecured street or something, could wander through or whatever. Something weird could happen, and it's just kind of a happy accident. Or an actor improvises or does something in the moment, and like it creates a moment, and they just happen to capture it. Something like this is everything that is captured is literally drawn, whether it's by computer or hand, whatever. It's not the point, but everything there is absolutely intentional, including the names. There's been two Sams in the zombie storyline prior to this. We have Samantha Maxis, Sam. Obviously, it's like a huge one, right? And we've had Samuel Stuhlinger from the Victus crew. BO6 zombies will be easy. I don't know. They actually said it's going to be harder than Cold War, so I'm looking forward to it. We're not discussing that, though, at the moment. Let's deal with the trailer. Now, the thing about Samuel Stuhlinger that was kind of weird is he was the only one that could hear. Like, Richtofen spoke in his head to Samuel Stuhlinger. The other members of the Victus crew could not hear Richtofen. It was just Samuel Stuhlinger. So that he named his boy Samuel, Sam, and that at the end of Black Ops 4, obviously, he and Samantha are the only two that make it out of that multiverse back into kind of, let's just say, our world here, the singular universe now. Everything else was banished to the dark ether. Those two made it out. So we still don't know how much, if anything, they really kind of remember. There are some audio logs in Cold War, where Sam is talking about when she was young and like she doesn't really remember anything, and she was, she was adopted. I mean, it was just the two of them walked out basically into our universe. They don't have a mother there. They don't have a father there. They don't have it's just the two of them. That's all they had. So, they were sent into like an orphanage and then through the foster care system and whatever. Now, speaking of that, listen to Richtofen's accent, because I don't know if he's German. I don't know if he's American. I don't know if it's some kind of combination. Listen to his accent. But by the way, the voice of Richtofen is done by Nolan North. This is Nolan North. The Doctor is back. And then he puts, this is from this is the trailer. So just wanted to show you that. It is, Richtofen is voiced by Nolan North again, which is awesome. But again, listen to his accent. It's just kind of curious. Again, he works for the CIA. Requiem is a subdivision of the CIA. So and I'm just kind of right over the top.
I'll get your sweater from the car.
Little breeze comes through. Being a super nice dude. Gonna go get her sweater. And basically he's like, it looks like he's having a heart attack, but I think we can just assume this is a panic attack. And then the music goes all wonky and whatever, and it slows down. And obviously he's having a dream. We're going to see him wake up in a second. But we turn around.
Maya, run!
Now, Maya, was that her name? I think he said Maya, run. But I'm not sure if that's her name or not.
Maya, run!
I don't know what else it could be, to be honest with you. Also, something I want to point out is the scar on Richtofen's neck here. I don't know how he got that scar. It could be from. Well, we'll cover that in a second. So now, obviously, we know something weird's going on. There's a huge fire going on. His wife and boy turn to look at him, and creepy, super creepy faces, and then burnt up faces, which is just like, ah! Like, oh no, thank you, no. Like that's so horrific, and that they're smiling like that just makes it even worse. We're gonna look at some other materials that deal with this, that absolutely relate to this in a second here. We'll let it play. So he wakes up. Now, something that also is weird to me, and we can just roll back a few frames here, like his clothes. One in that little scene that we just saw, but that was a dream, so you can kind of, I don't know, the clothes look more period, 1991. And that little intro scene that we just had with him and his wife and the kid. But what he's wearing here, I don't know. To me, this does not look 1991. This looks more like 1940s, 50s. Maybe 50s, I guess. It's like wool pants, and he's got you'll see it, I don't even know what you call it, but you'll get a better look at it in a minute. But it's like these little flaps that button down on the shoulders kind of a thing. A narrow tie, just everything about they're kind of high-waisted as well. It's a very 50s kind of style to everything. His shoes don't look particularly 1991. Again, to me, this is what I was talking about with the little shoulder strap things that come over the. I don't know. You guys could feel free to tell me what you think, but the shoe, like everything about this, just does not look 1991 to me. This is obviously the picture of him, and that's him, his wife, the boy. I think he said Maya. I'm gonna go with his wife's name is Maya, and that again is Samuel. It's 3:00 in the afternoon, February 18th, 1991. Again, that scar on his neck.
Warning, dimensional breach in progress.
Warning, dimensional breach in progress. Obviously, when we saw it in the Terminus trailer as well. By the way, just in case anybody doesn't know, Terminus and Liberty Falls, those two maps, these outbreaks, these dimensional breaches that are happening simultaneously. There were questions about with Terminus because they're happening simultaneously, and we know that our crew that we're playing as, Weaver, Maya, that's interesting, right? That the new girl that we're playing as is Maya, the new young lady they were playing as is Maya, the one that Peck brought in, and his wife, it seems like her name is Maya. That Richtofen's wife, his name is Maya, so that could be very interesting. You know, we got Carver and Dr. Gray as well. But that's happening in the Philippine Sea, like just below Japan. So, like, how are we going to play as our crew there? And then at the same time, Liberty Falls is happening. How are we going to play Liberty Falls as our crew? Like, are we going to play as a different group of people or just generic operators for that one map? But at the end of the, maybe we can look at it right now. That's not what I wanted from that. Where is... No. Oh, was it the gameplay? No, here we go. This is the end of the trailer. It wasn't this one. Oh, shoot. It wasn't that one. Do I not have it? Anyhow, at the end of... maybe it was the cinematic cutscene. Anyhow... Oh, it was the gameplay. There was gameplay stuff. There was a release. You see, like, a portal open up, and then literally it looks exactly like the Stranger Things portal from the latest season 4, whatever that is. You know, they go to the upside down, like in like the trailer. If you've seen Stranger Things, anyway, it looks exactly like that portal. And then the camera moves and they show, and like it literally turns upside down. And they like kind of fall through. I think it's literally going to open a portal from Terminus to Liberty Falls. So I think we're going to play as our same crew, both maps. But to me, that also means that, one, they've shown us the... what's up, Mark? They've shown us the Terminus stuff first, and now we're getting Liberty Falls. And then also they showed us, like, when that portal opens up, from Terminus to Liberty Falls. So I'm just saying, in the order I'm going to play these maps is Terminus and then Liberty Falls, even though the Liberty Falls trailer is ridiculously good. Anyhow, let's back up.
Warning. Dimensional breach in progress.
Dimensional breach.
Sublevel 10, report.
Something's wrong with Sam.
Sublevel 10. Okay, something is wrong with Sam. What Sams do we know? Again, Samantha Maxis.
Dimensional breach in progress.
Cylinder?
Sublevel 10, report.
Something's wrong with Sam. Dimensional breaches are occurring across the facility.
Okay, so basically you can think of this like Samantha's waking up, and she's opening up these dimensional breaches all over this Liberty Falls facility. The Wonder Waffle is back. This was created and designed and created. The Wonder Waffle DG2 was created by Richthofen, but that, of course, was from like 1940, whatever, 39, whatever, back in the day. Like for World War II is when he actually designed and made it, the original version of it. So it's a little bit, we're doing one of those things now where, how does he know, like, this is Richthofen, but he's not the old Richthofen. He's not the Richthofen from the games that we know in the past. So, but is there like residual memory? Like he made the exact same weapon as a new person, pretty much, in a different universe? It's kind of weird. Will it make sense? I mean, it definitely can make sense. Again, is there that residual kind of thoughts, the residual memories or something within them? I don't know. It's the whole, when you're doing a multiverse kind of a thing and you are the same person but you're not, you know, it's like there's infinite number of, you know, various yous or me's or whatever out there. But anyway, it's kind of... I'm not sure. I mean, it looks exactly the same as the original kind of Wonder Wife that we've had in like since World at War, since Shino Numa, right? So again, it's a little bit unusual, but who knows? I don't know if they're ever going to really like fully connect these things and be like, this is why he knows how to like build this thing. But
Secure your staff. I'll handle Sam myself.
secure your staff. I'll deal with Sam myself. Is that what he said? Deal with? Why are you not working?
Your staff. I'll handle Sam myself.
I'll handle Sam myself. But then you can see Sam like that's the purple stuff coming out. And then the Wonder Waffle just absolutely wrecking, dude. It looks good, man. It looks really good. So we know the Wonder Weapons we're getting in both maps so far already. Which is kind of interesting that they gave that away already. But by the way, look at where they are. Like this whole, I don't know if it's a house. If it is a house, it's a huge house. It kind of looks like, and we're gonna see like dinosaur bones and all that kind of stuff too, like a natural history museum that they took over. Or if you saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, was that the one? The second one, where they have like the dinosaur auction. It looks kind of like that house. Like that was just a massive mansion, but like dinosaur bones and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know if it's a natural history museum or if, like I said, do they take over somebody's mansion or something? I don't know.
Blanchard, secure the command post. Call in response teams. Get Liberty Falls locked down. Copy.
So this guy's name is Blanchard. Don't know if that's going to be important to us later or not. I can't read the patch on his arm at all. Get Liberty Falls locked down.
Blanchard, secure the command post. Call in response teams. Get Liberty Falls locked down. Copy.
Copy.
Again, what's his accent? Like, what are you hearing? To me, it's like still... It's kind of a hybrid of... There's like the Germanness is there, but it's definitely not fully American. Not fully German either, but... So like, look at this place. The wallpaper here is kind of, it's being shredded. It looks terrible. The wood on the panelings on the walls is falling apart. We go into here, you can see like same thing. Pictures are off the wall, they're on the floor. Paper's strewn everywhere. The wallpaper is torn up. It's peeling off the walls. So this was some kind of abandoned kind of again, I don't know if it was a museum or maybe the military found something there and they came in and just took it over. But I mean, how long have they been there? Like, it wouldn't be like into a state of disrepair if they've been there for even 6 months or a year or whatever. Like, this looks like years of neglect or abuse or whatever. But anyway, Wonder Waffle looking good, man. Did he have a scarred Modern Warfare Zombies? Yes. Nah. Wait. Did Richthofen have a scar? We didn't see him in Modern Warfare. In Cold War. Yeah, we're gonna go to the end of Cold War right after we watch this. There's a few things I want to, I'm gonna go over with you guys, but we're gonna go to some Cold War stuff right after this. So you notice there, he put his hand on to scan it, and he gave his name, but it went red, like it didn't work. Richthofen, I don't know what he said though. Richthofen something. So there, actually, oh shoot, I didn't mean that. So you see what this guy's wearing right here, like his gear. This is one of his soldiers, and then if we go back to where we just were. That guy, you can see it. You can see it on him as well. These are soldiers that got. It's kind of one of the things that I noticed in the Terminus trailer too, or the gameplay they revealed, the 17 minutes of gameplay that they revealed. Because the outbreak is literally just happening as we come into this, because pretty much everything before this, the zombies outbreak has occurred. Like, we're in the middle of it. It's already happened. The initial outbreak. It's kind of like when Rick wakes up in the hospital in The Walking Dead, and he's like, what the hell is going on? And then he walks out, and, like, everything is destroyed. That's kind of where we were in the old games. Like, but this is happening now. So kind of to keep it on the same, like The Walking Dead, it's like what was his buddy's name? Shane. When we cut back to we see his POV from like the next season 2 or season 3, whatever it was, and he's actually at the hospital visiting Rick when the outbreak occurs. Like, that's kind of what we're getting now. So like, these soldiers are like just getting bitten and turned, like, you know, this is just beginning to happen. You know, he just got the news when he was up in his room that, you know, Samantha's creating this outbreak. So Sam is starting this. Well, at least that's what we're meant to believe from what we're getting, the information we're getting from these trailers, or at least from this trailer. And now we can also put that onto Terminus. If Sam's, you know, she got very powerful at the end of Cold War. And now maybe she's able to manipulate, like, open up these portals between the Dark Ether and our world. Director Project Janus. Emergency override. It went green. He gets in. Does a cool little shot. That's a GIF that they released on Twitter. Purple smoke. I swear to you, Sam, you'll never be free, is what he just said there, okay? Smoke goes into the Wonder Waffle. She breaks it.
But Edward, I already am.
But Edward, I already am. So she is already free. So now, that's pretty much the end of this trailer. That's literally the end of this trailer. So there's a couple of things. So let's go. We're going to go to Forsaken, the very end of Forsaken. This is the very end of Cold War now, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be very relevant. Again, this is my video from, like, this. I did the full boss fight and the end cutscene, but because the music plays over it, it ended up, I had to mute it out. So when the cutscene actually kicks in, it's just going to be that same song from Vera Lynn. What was it called? We'll meet again. So this is the very end. Sam saying soon this will be over. And he's coming. We use the final cannon on his head, and now the Forsaken is essentially we've. I was gonna say we killed him, but we didn't kill him. Or did we? Because I don't think we did. So again, we just shot him in the head. You fools, I'm through playing games. This ends now. But I've already shot him in the head. The final shot that we need. My assimilation of your world cannot be stopped. By the way, when you're seeing Maxis talk here, I'm playing, it was a bundle, I'm playing as Maxis, so it's they shouldn't have ever done it like this because it makes it confusing, because Sam's actually a character in this that we can also talks to us and does whatever. But when she, like, if you see her appear over here, that's her talking. If you see this blue name, that's just me, my character.
Weaver, the phase is expanding. Make sure you... Shit. We're getting reports of outbreak zones expanding around the globe.
Okay, that's...
You will not consume this world. No.
Okay, so we had taken down the Forsaken. We like hit them with the final blow, and then he was giving like one more final, like all of his energy trying to expand, like open up basically a massive breach between our world and the Dark Ether, and kind of let the Dark Ether into our world to take it over. And now Sam, again, she was growing more and more powerful as like Cold War went along. And in the Forsaken, she was in the Dark Ether for a while, and being in the Dark Ether seems to give you powers. Again, Zykov, the Forsaken, was just a dude. He was the guy in the very first trailer for Die Machina. He was the guy that went into the cyclotron, the particle accelerator. They literally welded the door shut behind them. That was him. He got sucked into the breach. He was just a normal dude, and then he ends up becoming the Forsaken, because in the Dark Ether these things happen. There's powers. There's with the elements and blah blah blah, magic mysteries kind of stuff. But whatever. So Sam was getting more and more powerful as we went through. It was kind of one of the main storylines in the intel that you would pick up throughout the game, is seeing how strong Sam was becoming. And Richtofen, at the time, we didn't know for sure that it was him. It was just the director. He would do stuff to her, like he kept her locked up and isolated for a very long time, and he would force her to try to prove, how strong she is. He tried to make her kill a guy in another. She actually did it because Richtofen was going to kill her dog, not so. And then at the end of Mauer der Toten, you remember, she actually opens up the portal that we escape through, because what's his name? What's the guy's name? Colonel Kravchenko. He's in the helicopter trying to shoot us, and Sam opens. She's, now, go. And then she opens up the portal. We run through, and then we see her eyes go purple. Like, that was the big thing at the end of it. Like, ooh. And now here she has reached, like, she's very powerful.
Not as long as I am here.
Sam, whatever you're thinking of doing, don't do it.
I'm not a bad person, Weaver. I am a good soul. I know what.
That's kind of important what she's saying there. I'm not a bad person. I'm a good soul. We're going to cover this in just a second. There's a thing between her and Weaver. Something went very, very, very badly with Richtofen's wife and child getting killed. And it's basically because of Sam and Weaver. So we're going to look at that in a second as well. And then it goes back, of course, to the trailer that we saw for Liberty Falls, where everything is fine, then the wind kicks in and he starts getting that panic attack or heart attack or whatever is going on. And he turns around and his wife and kid all of a sudden burst into flames, and there's fire all around them. They, end up as charred bodies. We're going to cover that in a second.
What I have to do. I'm sorry. This is the only way.
So that's Sam literally going into the dark, like through him into, that's the portal now. And she's going into the Dark Ether to basically, again, I don't want to say kill, but to neutralize the Forsaken, or at least to close the barrier between our worlds from the other side. Okay, now this is kind of important here as well. This is bits of him, like this is the rest of him. It's being sucked into what looks like Sophia, but it's the massive ball, and we're going to see it in a second, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know that we actually kill the Forsaken. I think we're just trapping him. I mean, we've kind of neutralized him. We took his arms off. We took it, shot him in the stomach there with the ether crystals covered, like protecting him. We've taken all that kind of stuff off of him, but he's not dead. Turn around, Switters. There you go. Okay, so now this is the Sophia looking thing. If you played Black Ops 3, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, you should have. But Sophia ends up being this robot. She's in Gerard Crovey in Revelations. It's her soul trapped in this. But whatever. This is I mean, I don't know why they did this other than like it's the design, because this is obviously meant to make us remember that Sophia from Black Ops 3. But I think it's just the design. This is how you, this sphere is the design that you need to be able to capture a soul. So anyway, we're putting the Forsaken into this now, right? And it's going to end up being flown away. But let me just quickly go back to this is the new Liberty Falls trailer. And this is being referenced as Sam now. Like if we go back... I swear to you, Sam, you'll never be free. Now, wait a minute. What did he do with? What did she do with him right there? He just got yoinked, like out of existence. Big flash of light, and then he just disappears. But is he going through? Whoops. A portal? Sorry, I just had a knock on my door. Give me 1 second. It was just Amazon. Okay. So, yeah, he gets... I didn't even kind of notice this before. He gets, like I said, he's just kind of... Boink. Like, where does he go? Then this is... Okay, all this purple smoke, I guess, is supposed to be, you know, like Sam. He's talking to Sam. And then she's going to respond here in a second. Best COD trailer of all time, if you ask me. I mean, this is awesome, dude. Like, I can't even fully explain, like I said at the beginning. I don't know that I can even tell you why I love this trailer so much. I just think it's really good. Anyhow, this purple smoke, which apparently is Sam, and again, the guy from before on the monitor was like, you know, Sam's creating these breakout zones. And then he says, Sam, I swear, Sam, you'll never be free. And then we follow. He gets pulled into that flash of light, into where? I don't know. Into the dark ether, into this ball that we're about to see here? I don't know. We follow the purple smoke through the Wonder Waffle, exploding it, breaking it. And then Sam's going to talk to us. So she's like... literally pulling the tubes out. It's kind of like the Matrix when Neo, like, you know, wakes up and he's in the bath of like amniotic fluid or whatever that is, and the tubes come, you know, popping out. So Sam is apparently in. That's the thing is like, well, let's let her finish talking and then I'll go through it again. But Edward, I already am, meaning free. So, again, I mean, the design isn't exactly the same. This is like a solid steel all the way around. And this has like the panels around it. But I mean, like the band around the middle, the light in the middle, like it looks kind of like an eye. I mean, it's the same basic design, right? So, like in that ball, is that... like, is the dark ether portal, like, being housed? Like, is that where that is? Is it literally just the housing? Is that the portal for the dark ether is inside of that? But you can see, like... And now, you got to remember, it's been 5 years between these two incidents. Between this moment here in the Forsaken and this moment here in Liberty Falls / in Terminus. It's been 5 years. Time in the dark ether is basically, it's like a 10-to-1 ratio. So 5 years in our world is 50 years there. So 10-to-1. So that's a lot more time for her to obviously get even more and more and more powerful. We saw what Zykov, well, again, what happened to Zykov. So now Zykov was in there for 40 something years, 35 to 40 years. And then we saw what he became. Sam's been in there for, like I said, 5 years, but she had been in there before. She's already got some kind of powers. And again, if we're talking about how Richtofen could design and create the Wunderwaffe in this universe, as compared to like we know he designed it back in in the previous games in the Ether story, in like during World War II or before World War II, whatever it was, whatever year it actually was. But then it wouldn't make sense that he necessarily would be able to design and make another Wunderwaffe, because it's a different person, or it's a different version of the same person. So again, is there like some kind of melding of memories from one to the other? Sam, she used to control the zombies. It was part of how you knew who was in control of the zombies at the time was yellow eyes versus blue eyes, and then of course the whole red eyes thing we found out not too long ago, that they just had it look cool, and then they're like, oh, that means the wardens, and they retrofitted everything there for that. But anyway, this is super curious. So here, Sam literally flies into the Forsaken.
Here!
Sam, whatever you're thinking of doing, don't do it.
I'm not a bad person, Weaver. I am a good soul. I know what I have to do. I'm sorry. This is the only way.
So she literally flies into him. That's where she's going into the dark ether, and then again, we're gonna pull him apart and trap it into the Sophia ball. I'm using that term for a lack of a better term, because I don't know exactly what that thing is called. Almost sounds like she's blaming Weaver. No. I'm not a bad person, Weaver. It's because we're going to cover this in just a second. I know what you're saying, but I don't.
I'm a good soul.
I don't think so. Like,
I know what I have to.
Part of it is what happened with Richtofen's kid. The fire, the explosion. And again, we're going to listen to that, and we're going to read that and all that. We're going to deal with that in a second. But also, what's happening with her, like, because again, I just said that the director Richtofen had her locked up basically in a facility, and she wasn't allowed to come and go. She was literally in isolation there. And they, from the intel from Cold War, you check in at like at day 15, and she's still being kind of a smartass. And then it's like day 60 something, whatever, is when Richtofen's like, okay, I'm going to kill your dog unless you use your powers in this room here that you are, and there's a guy in another room, and you have to kill him with your mind from here. Or I'm going to kill your dog, not so. And Weaver was aware of all those experiments that were going on, and she said, like, this is even like a pulling a direct quote from that intel, like, I'm not a bad person, I'm a good soul, saying all this kind of stuff. Like, she didn't want to do these things, she was just forced to, and she was trying to protect who she loves, meaning at the time, not so her dog, but she would do it to protect family, friends, whatever. And the thing that happened with Richtofen's kid and wife, purely an accident. Weaver is the one that actually set off the explosion. And I have a big question, by the way, that I'll open up to you guys when we get to it. We're going to get to it very soon. But a huge question about that whole incident that I don't know has been explained. I don't know if you can explain it, and I don't know if it's a mistake, quite frankly. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, but the intel that Weaver got, he set off the explosion, but the intel he got was from Sam. And again, we're going to cover that in a minute.
I'm sorry. This is the
So she's doing the only thing she knows how to do to protect her friend, which is to go into the dark ether and seal it again from the other side, or to like kind of tear him up from the inside. But in so doing, we're about to capture that portal, meaning the Forsaken, the vessel that's created this portal here in the stomach. She closed it. It's being sucked into the Sophia Ball, where it's basically trapped. So I think we can say, like, inside of the Sophia Ball, she's gone back into the Dark Ether. Inside the Sophia Ball.
Secure. Dimensional breaches are closing.
Okay, the Forsaken is secure. He's not dead. He's not. I mean, I don't think, anyhow. So the way I'm looking at this is the Forsaken created this, opened the rift, the portal into the Dark Ether. That's how he stepped out of the actual portal, but then he came out as looking like Zykov, and then he blew up into the Forsaken. The portal in his stomach, that's where Sam went. So that's all, like, basically I'm thinking of it as like an open portal that is now contained to the Dark Ether, that is now contained within this Sophia Ball.
Around the world. It's over. It's done.
Electro, what's up, dude? Been a while. I saw your comment yesterday. I think I responded to you as well, so it's good to see you, man. Okay, it just went mute because this is where the song would kick in. We'll meet again. All outbreak zones collapsing. So, again, the whole thing was contained. Sam's in the Dark Ether. Thank you, Sam. She closed it up. Now, the helicopter's coming to take the Sophia Ball away. That is where... Now, this is confusing because I'm playing as Sam here, but just consider this just a generic operator. Don't think of this as Sam because it's, again... It's just how they did it. It wasn't... Ow! It wasn't good. Oh, man. I do that like every goddamn stream. I whack this cord, and then I can't hear myself speaking. Come on. It's going to drive me nuts. I'll let it play. I'll talk to you as I'm trying to fix this. So the reason why you're not hearing sound, again, is because of the song is playing and they muted it. So they've got the Forsaken contained. There we go. The dimensional breach, basically, is in that ball. That's the way to the Dark Ether. That's not actually Sam. That's just generic operator with Ravenov. That's Raptor 1. Way to go, everybody. Yay, team. Fly away. But then, wait a minute. Okay. That was just... Eddie, we know this list. Like, I can go through this fairly quickly. Entity acquired, all breaches sealed, Maxis locked within Dark Ether. She's no longer a problem for Project Janus. Divert strike team to Black Site 13 for indefinite containment. I will shut down Requiem. Our agents can move on Weaver and the rest. Okay, this part, welcome back, Pizza. Perfect choice of music containing where we left off, basically. Yeah, exactly. Entity acquired, the Forsaken, all breaches sealed. That's, all dimensional breaches into the Dark Ether. We know, done, good. Max is in the Dark Ether, sealed, locked within there. Again, that portal is in the Sophia Ball, so she can't get out. She is no longer a problem for Project Janus. Project Janus is Richthofen's kind of like secret side project that's going on. He's already in, he's in the CIA, and then subset of that, he is the director of Requiem. And then subset to that, kind of like, so that's the CIA, and then he's in a secret kind of mission over here, the secret, like leading this team of Requiem. It's kind of like another secret mission within the secret organization. And then even below that, the people were on this that don't even know, like, there's the Project Janus over here. Now, Janus is if we're going through myth, he is a god of basically doorways kind of in between. One looks to the future, one looks to the back. It's like, it's a transition. You can the obvious kind of thing you can make out of this is, the doorway between the Dark Ether and our world. Obviously, what we're actually, like, there could be a time travel thing. The thing that haunts Richthofen the most is that fire that killed his wife and son. That's what he wants back most of all. So is he basically trying to figure out a way to time travel, to get back to them, to save them, to get his family back? Probably that's the ultimate goal of Richthofen's, at least to my mind, is to find some way using this Dark Ether stuff to basically go back and get them, or to get even a different version of them, maybe from a multiverse, a different universe. That, because again, you've got to keep in mind that that's where, you know, they meaning Richthofen and Samantha, were part of a number of universes. You know, the multiverse back in the previous game. You know, the Ether story, and then they were again led out into our world to find their innocent versions of themselves, to basically have a life and to get the chance to grow up that they didn't have the chance to in the Ether story. But is there some kind of residual memory that's left over? Because some things that they experienced, although it technically wasn't them. You can think of it as like in the Marvel story, at the end of Infinity War, Thanos snaps, wipes out half the life across the universe. In Endgame, you come back, like in the first, 10 minutes of that, they kill Thanos. But then there's another Thanos at the end because there's multiverses and stuff. So technically, the Thanos at the end of Endgame is not the one that did the snap that killed half the life in all the universe, but it is still Thanos, and there was some kind of like thoughts, memories shared, because who Thanos was didn't change. It's just like, but things that might have happened to him in a different universe would have changed him a little bit, if that makes any kind of sense. Anyway, I can't believe it's been almost 3 years since I subbed to you. I remember it was during Forsaken stream. Was it really? This is so perfect. I mean, yeah, we're wrapping up a bow here for you. Stay subscribed. Don't go away. But what's up, Big Nap? Good to see you, man. So, okay, so she's no longer a problem for Project Janus. And then at the end of the... I don't know why I don't have... I'm going to... Now it's bugging me. I want to show you guys two things I had mentioned, and I want to explain them a bit better for you. Don't worry, I'm going to bring this over to the screen that you're looking at here. Hold on.
What are you standing around for?
5 camo pack and Modern Warfare.
You've seen that trailer a bunch of times. That's why I'm not bothering to show it to you in full here. What I wanted to show you, this is, so when it cuts from Terminus, so this is the, as you can see here, Round-Based Zombies Terminus reveal trailer. This cuts to, it leaves from there, and it cuts to Liberty Falls. See this tank over here? Project Janus. This is Richthofen's crew over here doing some stuff. So I just wanted to show you that. And then, was this? Which trailer was it where they showed the... Oh, wait, let's keep playing. Hold on. Jet gun, by the way. There it is. There it is. So I had mentioned that it's the same crew, right? There we go. Again, there was talk like, well, if we're in Terminus and then Liberty Falls is happening at the same time, we can't play as the same crew. I was like, there's going to be like time travel, like a teleporter kind of a thing. Here, you're about to see it.
Warzone Mobile.
Okay. Again, I pointed out Project Janus over here. This is Liberty Falls. By the way, $1 gas. Can we go back to 1991? Jet gun. This is the portal that I'm talking about. This is the Stranger Things portal. I mean, Call of Duty has always borrowed liberally from film and TV and other sources. This is... Oh, man. Can I show it to you guys now? I don't know if I can show it to you. I was gonna make a video about this, and then I had something happen, and then I didn't. So this is from Stranger Things. I mean, I'm probably gonna. Oh my god, so demonetized, so killed right now. So that's Dustin and I forgot Eddie is his name. Anyway, this is the portal between. They're in the upside down, and they're trying to get back to our world, which is just to be simple about it. But look at the port. Look at the. This is the portal, basically, right? I mean, look at it, and then come to back to this.
Warzone and Warzone Mobile.
I mean, the tentacle, like, vine-looking things, it looks exactly the same. Right? I mean, it's just the color's a little bit different. But it looks... It's the same. Right? Okay, so you see what I'm talking about as far as that goes. So it's literally the portal from Stranger Things, but it's in Call of Duty Zombies. So we're in Terminus or whatever, and now, play through. Everything's upside down. We're falling through some water. There's the Pack-a-Punch machine. It's like after we had like blown everything up there, we completed Terminus. Excuse me. Like, I don't know what happens in like the boss fight, and then like something explodes, and but we're literally falling through water, and you see this is Pack-a-Punch machine, and we're falling down through into Liberty Falls. That's 100% what I think is happening there. Anyway, bigging up the upside down. Exactly, looks like upside down church. See, I disagree about the church thing. I know other people have said that, but it's because I think I don't know. Like, do these look like pews or something? But this is literally the Pack-a-Punch machine. And if you remember from the Terminus trailer, it's in water. You literally have to raise it up out of the water. It's like that kind of like the room, the particle accelerator room in D Machina that we saw in Terminus. It looks like, I mean, we might even be able to find it real quick.
Bounce.
Here. This room. This right here. This is the platform. This is an Arsenal, whatever they're called, the Arsenal upgraders. And then opposite that, over here. This is the Arsenal upgrader. Over here on this same thing is Pack-a-Punch. And it's in the water. And then you, like, activate it, and it literally races up out of the water that we saw from the gameplay. And then, so that I think what happens is at the end of this is again that same big room with it all, and that turns you into a mangler for a short time. There's Melee Macchiato, and I think right over here is Pack-a-Punch. I think we're gonna have like this big boss fight battle. There's gonna be kind of an explosion or a rift. Something's gonna happen that causes some kind of an explosion, and then we again, because you do see Pack-a-Punch as we're falling through it. I don't think it's a church at all. I mean, I know people have said that, but I think it's just kind of... They literally jump off of that into the water, and down here is where you activate Pack-a-Punch. There it is. So the platform gets lifted up out of the water. That's the Arsenal accelerator thing that I was talking about, or whatever it's called, the Arsenal upgrader, whatever. Maya, again, it sounds like Richtofen was calling his wife Maya. And we know her name is Maya. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And if you're like, what are you talking about? Fire's gonna kick in. Scar on his name.
Maya, run!
Maya, run? Is that what he's saying? Sounds to me like he's saying Maya, run. Anyway, so that's, you saw there. And again, we're back to Liberty Falls. That's where, where Pack-a-Punch was. So that's why I think when we go through the Upside Down here, that 100% is the Pack-a-Punch machine. It's just that place got exploded, blown up, whatever, and it's crumbling now, and it's literally falling like toward the dimensional portal that will go down into Liberty Falls. I mean, I don't know 100% for sure, but I'm like 99% sure that's what's going to happen. So, I mean, I don't know, people are just kind of like thinking of this as like a altar kind of a thing. That's why they think it's a church, maybe. Maybe these look like pews, but I'm virtually certain that, it's the explanation that I just gave. Okay, so let's go back to this. This is at the end of Cold War. This is Forsaken. She's no longer a problem for Project Janus. Divert the strike team to Black Site 13 for indefinite containment. That is Terminus. That's the prison, Terminus, all that kind of stuff. That's Black Site. It's off the books. You can think of it as like Guantanamo, but for our zombies crew. I will shut down Requiem. So again, this is the subdivision of the CIA that Richtofen has been in charge of. He's going to close this whole thing down because we're no longer. That's not the whole point of Requiem. Apparently, was to get Maxis locked into the dark ether and to seal up all the breaches and stuff that were happening across the world. So they're safe from that now, and got her out of the way so she won't be a problem for his real goal, which is Project Janus. So they are locked up, the crew is locked up, and Sam is in the dark ether. I'll shut down Requiem. Our agents can move on Weaver and the rest. That means he's going to go arrest them and bring them to Black Site 13. And again, there's no sound here because this is the song that's playing. We'll Meet Again from Vera Lynn. And it's muted in my video. So we're going to see our crew get arrested. That's Dr. Gray, who looks a lot different in Terminus trailer that we saw. Looks a lot different. Way more hardened. Major Carver. He looks different to me too. I mean, this is artistic renderings. They don't need to look like the actual person, but they've really changed the look of him. And Strauss is going crazy, literally going crazy at Terminus. He wasn't doing good. He's got that long beard and he's in rough shape. And again, don't even think of this as Sam. This is just generic operator that I played as. That's Raptor 1. We know Raptor 1 got locked up and was in Terminus as well. Same for Weaver. Hey, thanks for everything you did. Now time to go to jail. I mean, it's not even jail. It's just, again, it's like Guantanamo. Like, there is no time. There's no paperwork. There's no whatever. It's whatever they want it to be. Then, of course, so Richtofen sees, okay, he's watching his monitors. Okay, we got everybody else arrested. I'm good to go. That's done. Time to shut down Requiem. Comes and gets the stuff off his desk. Obviously, the picture. Samuel, his wife, Maya? I think it's Maya. To me, this is the house from Revelations. I don't know. It kind of, I mean, to me, I don't know, it just seems like it. Now, this looks like Richtofen, but it's a black and white photo. So it's like World War II Richtofen? But so his previous, the Ether story Richtofen? But how could that be possible? And then it's similar, not the same. In this new trailer, when he sits up after he's having that horrific dream where his wife and child get burnt up, again from the fire, the explosion. It's not the same picture, but it's very similar. Him, his wife, and his kid Samuel. And again, it's very weird that he named his kid Samuel. Him, his wife, his kid Samuel. And again, I don't know what the deal is with the black and white photo there. And then it was, of course, the big reveal. Hey, it was actually Edward Richtofen. And I'm like, hey, yeah, we know. It's like we knew Zykov was the Forsaken as well. We weren't surprised by that. Unless he said fire, it does sound like Maya. We'll go back and listen to it again real quick. Shuts the door. Five years later, so this is now, like, this is the beginning. So, like, this would lead directly to Terminus. We got Peck.
I need to rent a boat.
I need to rent a boat.
Where do you need to go?
Here.
Are you sure? There's nothing there.
Yes, there is. Oh,
What is it you are looking for?
some old friends.
I'm looking for some old friends.
All right, Clint Eastwood. Some old friend. The story will continue. Gosh darn it. Okay, so that's that. Now, if we go back, I mean, I don't think he's saying fire. I mean he could be.
Fire! Run!
Maybe it is saying fire. You know, it's kind of like those. If you're looking at somebody's lips and they're speaking, you can hear like two different words. It's like it's just what you're thinking of in your head. He could be like fire, run. Yeah, he could be. I guess he could be. I thought he was saying Maya, run, but he didn't say anything to his son either. So that would make sense that he's not just talking to her. He's talking to both of them. So it could be fire, run. Yeah, definitely. If you listen to the kids laugh, I think it's Mr. Peak's laugh. Okay. Well, let's get into that now, okay? So we'll kind of just leave that as our little background here, and, you know, just because it's very happy and, and peaceful. By the way, just I wanted to cover real quick. So you can look up the lyrics to We'll Meet Again. I don't really think there's anything in here for that, but it's also kind of interesting that Pink Floyd, they have a song called Vera. It's like a minute and a half long. There's really not much to it. There's kind of like an interstitial between songs rather than a full song, but they're talking about Vera Lynn, the whole song. The song is called Vera. And well, you can go listen to it, like I said. She lived to be 103, though. Good for her. But anyway, the whole point of the song is recalling the hope that Vera Lynn, a World War II era singer, instilled within a country torn apart by war and loss. Why is that buffering? Can you guys still hear me and see me and everything's fine? Okay, that's weird. I don't know why that was just buffering. And it's off of the wall, so if you want to check that out, you can listen to both of those songs on your own if you want to. Again, full copyright issues for me if I do that. So again, we're going to leave this here kind of playing in the background. Where did I have a video on this? Where is it? Well, I thought I had opened it already. Oh, here we go.
Hello?
Hello, Sam.
Can you hear that? I'm going to turn everything up just for right now. So this is from an audio log from Cold War. Obviously, you can see. It's between Sam. Weaver is calling Sam.
Hello?
Hello, Sam. I'm not allowed to visit in person, but I just wanted to check in.
Before the operation tomorrow? Be there or be square.
I know I can't tell you what to do. You wouldn't listen anyway. But seriously.
I know my orders, Weaver. I assist with the infill, but then...
You stand down. We can't risk any mistakes. We both know how badly things can go.
Can't risk any mistakes. We both know how badly things can go south if we act impulsively. Okay? Sam saying, I know my orders. I assist with the infill, and then I stand. I don't do anything. Weaver, I stand down. So you stand down. We can't risk any mistakes. We both know how badly things can go south if we act impulsively.
South if we act impulsively.
You're talking about the boy, aren't you?
And the mother.
It wasn't your fault.
It wasn't yours either, Sam.
Thanks for calling, Weaver. I'll see you in the morning.
Goodbye, Sam.
You're talking about the boy, aren't you? And the mother. It wasn't your fault, Weaver. It wasn't your fault either, Sam. Okay. So, let's put that away. And you were just saying, if you listen to the kids laugh, it sounds like the Mr. Peaks laughed. Well, so this is from Cold War as well. And this is when you do the final outbreak Easter egg, which is the Orda Easter egg. One of the things you have to do is you find the broken mystery box with Mr. Peak sitting on it, and then you pick up the bunny rabbit, and there's a little lockdown. And then when you complete that, the child's note pops out, which is this drawing here of Mr. Peaks, and there's writing around it. This is my best friend, Mr. Peaks. Mr. Peaks is always watching. Mr. Peaks likes to play hide and seek. Mr. Peaks lives in my hat. Mr. Peaks always tells the truth. Thank you, Mr. Peaks. You keep me safe in the dark place. And, well, I mean, it kind of sounds like the Dark Ether, right? So does Richtofen think his son is in the Dark Ether somewhere? And he can go in there and get him somehow? But you also notice that the note is burnt. So a lot of people are thinking, is a relatively new theory, that Mr. Peaks, the soul, like kind of trapped inside Mr. Peaks, the reason why he's kind of alive is it is Richtofen's son Samuel's soul in Mr. Peaks. So when he died in that fire, it went into the rabbit somehow. I don't know. I mean, it's just excuse me, it's just a theory. I don't know. It's weird that this. If it's not, I mean, I guess it's not weird per se, but it's unusual that, like, they specifically made it so this thing is burnt up. This note is burnt up around the edges. The only other fire that they talk about, the only fire that they talk about in this game is the one that killed the boy and the mother. So it would certainly make sense that, like, you know, going through this, that it would be the case. Like, this could be, it could legitimately be Samuel Richtofen's soul is in Mr. Peaks. Don't know. So this is also from Cold War. This is more intel. So this is the actual, like, the handwritten note. I'm just going to read over here because this is, like, just so you can see it clearer. Quarantine Diary 9. This is Samantha. I couldn't sleep, 3 a.m. I heard a knock at my apartment door. She's remembering this incident now, by the way. I couldn't sleep, 3 a.m. I heard a knock at my apartment door. You gave the keyword, and I let you in. We'd never met face-to-face before. It was a shock to finally meet you. You were in a bad way. I did my best to dress your wounds, but it was the first and only time I ever saw you cry. You mumbled something about not knowing, about how sorry you were. You torched the place to cover your tracks after the hit. You said the boy was supposed to be staying with his mother. But he wasn't. He was there, in the house, while it burned to the ground. This is Sam talking to about Weaver, remembering this thing that had happened in the past with Weaver. Now, I had said before, there's something about this that to me doesn't make sense, or something is going on. So, if this is about Richtofen's wife and his child, and it certainly seems to be. I mean, back in Cold War, you could think, really, it's just a theory. But now with this new trailer for Liberty Falls and seeing them burn up in Richtofen's memory, like, it really, really, really would be kind of like, it's not that at this point. Like, it has to. It doesn't have to be, but you know what I mean? Like, it kind of has to be, right? So my big thing is, okay, well, let's go through it again. I couldn't sleep, 3 a.m. I heard a knock at my apartment door. You gave the keyword, and I let you in. We'd never met face-to-face before. It was a shock to finally meet you. You were in a bad way, obviously. I did my best to dress your wounds, but it was the first and only time I ever saw you cry. You mumbled something about not knowing, about how sorry you were. You torched the place to cover your tracks after the hit. You said the boy was supposed to be staying with his mother, but he wasn't. He was there in the house while it burned to the ground. Okay, so if he's going to a house, assuming it's Richtofen's house, so the hit was to take out Richtofen? Possible. But the boy was not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be staying with the mother. Where you are? You said the boy was supposed to be staying with his mother. So was Richtofen and his wife separated? Divorced? But he wasn't. He was there. So he was with Richtofen. But everything we know, and if we go back to the, even to this, the audio log, you're talking about the boy, aren't you? And the mother.
Sam.
They both died in a fire. So is it not?
I just wanted to check in.
Is it not these two?
Before the operation tomorrow.
Because something here doesn't make sense.
Square.
I know I can't tell you what to do. You wouldn't listen anyway. But seriously.
I know my orders, Weaver. I assist with the infill, but then...
You stand down.
You stand down.
We can't risk
any mistakes. We both know how badly things can go
Things can go south if we
act impulsively.
impulsively.
You're talking
Sam
about
says
the
you're talking about the
boy,
boy, aren't you?
And the mother.
Weaver, and the mother. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't yours either, Sam. Thanks for calling. See you tomorrow. So something's not adding up here. I did my best to dress your wounds. Did he get into a physical fight with Richtofen? Was it because he set the explosives and some of it he got hit by some of it somehow? Did he get trapped in the fire as well? Trying to cover his tracks from the hit. I mean, he didn't. It doesn't make sense. It's not making sense to me. The hit on who? If it was supposed to be Richtofen, then obviously he didn't carry out the hit. He was unsuccessful because Richtofen's alive. So then what was he covering his tracks on? If he didn't actually do the hit. You cover your tracks, if you cut somebody's throat or something like that, then you burn the body so you can't see that, they had sliced their artery or something. I don't know. I'm not a professional at these things. So if we're talking about Richtofen, his wife, and his kid, this, there's a disconnect here. Something is not adding up. And you guys aren't saying anything to me about this at all. So I don't know. But something here doesn't make sense. Because we've been putting this together as this is 100% we're talking about Richtofen and his kid and his wife. In all of these, little bits from the audio log to this note, this diary entry, and the whole thing with Mr. Peaks as well. This note also. But whoops, I didn't mean to go next. I meant to go behind. So I don't really know what to make of this now. Because there is something that's off. And again, we've been thinking forever that it was about, Sam gave him some kind of information that was supposed to be the hit. They were working, together on this mission. Weaver went there to kill somebody. Is it, was it Richtofen? I don't know. It's supposed to be. I mean, according to this, it's that's the implications. The boy wasn't supposed to be there. He was setting the fire, the explosion, to cover his tracks from the hit. But if it was a hit on Richtofen, obviously he wasn't successful. And then two, why would he try to cover his tracks of the hit if he wasn't successful on the hit? That doesn't make sense. So he wouldn't set a fire to begin with. So to me, it can't be Richtofen that we're talking about here. It can't be. It can't be about Richtofen. It can't be about his family. And now, like, the whole staying with his mother thing, like, could they be divorced? Could they be separated? Sure, they could be. Like, you know, if you were having memories about your dead wife or potentially ex-wife and child, you would remember, like, the better times when you were still together, maybe something like that. So I'm okay with them not necessarily living together, not necessarily being together. But if we're putting these two things together as being a one and the same incident, you're talking about the boy, aren't you, and the mother, and then we're talking. Oh, stop doing that. And then we're over here. You know, we're talking about you torched the place to cover your tracks after the hit. You said the boy was supposed to be staying with his mother, but he wasn't. He was there in the house while it burned to the ground. So it can't have happened at the same time if this is the same incident, because the kid wasn't staying with his mother. He was staying at that house. So that means the mother and the child were in literal different places. And you guys are still not talking to me. So I don't know. It can't. To me, in my mind, it can't be. It can't be the same thing. It literally cannot be the same thing. Either that or we've got two very unreliable narrators here. Like, something is off, but something would be off. Or that wasn't his mom, maybe his aunt or something. This? I mean, they're snuggling up over here like, I don't think it's his aunt. There's no way. So then this wouldn't make sense. I mean, this isn't supposed to be the actual when they died. This is just a memory. It's not a memory, a dream, a nightmare. Hey, the darkie that changes the man. Yeah, but I mean, what is that? I don't understand. What is that to do with this, though? Like, it simply doesn't make sense. I'm talking over this music a little bit at the end here. Go get my jacket on some sunny day. Please stop singing the song. Now, this is a nightmare, so this can be whatever. Like, you can transpose, and things can be weird, and they can do whatever. I'm not even talking about this necessarily, like, as proof of anything. Because this is just a bad dream. This is just nightmares haunting you. But his wife and kid did get burned. And then just as far as the notes and everything, we've been talking about it forever, how, was that Richtofen's kid and his wife? It cannot be. At least the way that they've presented the information to us, it truly, literally cannot be. So, again, I don't know if we're getting wrong information from somewhere, somehow, or these notes, these things that we're talking about, are flat out not Richtofen's kid and not his wife. Because they're not, the kid and the wife aren't even in the same place. Also, to cover your tracks after the hit, there was no hit. If it was supposed to be Richtofen. Richtofen's alive. And if you failed the hit, you wouldn't burn the place down to cover your hit because there was no hit. You didn't need to cover your tracks. And it's like, well, I left fingerprints and he wanted to burn it down. Well, he didn't just go and hang out, like, because he had a wound. I did my best to dress your wounds. So he got into some kind of scuffle. And it's not like Richtofen would just be like, oh, well, he burnt the place down, so no, I didn't see this guy. It would be a firsthand witness. So you wouldn't just then set the fire or, explode the house. Like, none of that makes sense. So again, this is either flat out it's just not talking about Richtofen and his kid, Richtofen and his family or whatever, or we're getting bad information somehow, like really bad information, like there's a major disconnect here, a major disconnect between what seems to be reality and what happened in this note. So did we catch them trying to retcon something, or was this never about Richtofen and his family to begin with? Because it certainly seems like Richtofen is hell-bent on getting revenge, or getting Weaver and getting Sam. And he's desperately trying to, again, this whole Project Janus thing, and if we looked up, I mean, we can do it. I don't know how much insight it's actually going to give us. I mean, we can infer. So if we go to Janus Wikipedia, sorry if everything just got super bright on you and it burnt your eyes. I apologize. Why would Richtofen be so mad at Sam? He wants her locked away in the ether forever if she didn't cause the fire or be involved in it. I don't know. I mean, but from what we just looked at, I mean, how can it be the same incident? How could that be Richtofen's family? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It flat out doesn't make sense. And again, we could just be getting bad info, but what we do have, what has been presented to us, is either wrong, like a false memory, bad memory, a conflation of thoughts, but it cannot be the incident, because there had to be more than one. If the kid was with the dad and not the mom, how could the mom and the kid die at the same time? It doesn't make sense. It simply just doesn't make sense. And I've always said Janus, but maybe it is Janus. Janus? Anyway, in ancient Roman religion and myth, Janus is the god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, frames, and endings. He is usually depicted as having two faces. The month of January is named for Janus. See, January, Janus. I'm going to say Janus. I'm going back to Janus. According to ancient Roman farmers' almanacs, Juno was mistaken as the tutelary deity of the month of January, but Juno is the tutelary deity of the month of June, not January. How dare you get that wrong? Tutelary, is that correct? Am I saying that right?
Tutelary.
I am. Tutelary. Serving as a protector, guardian, or patron. All right. Tutelary to you. Anyhow, the god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, frames, and endings. There's 9 things he's the god of. That's a lot. He's a busy man. Gates, again, we've got a literal gate between the Dark Ether and our world. Okay? That seems simple enough. Passages, you can look at it the same thing. The gateway, the hallway. Think of it as the hallway. At one end, you've got the Dark Ether. At the other end, you've got our world. Time and endings. Those are kind of interesting. Time, again, you've got one looking to the future, one looking to the past. Where's the present? You're never fully in the present. Because by the time you take it in, it's the past, even if it's sort of like a millisecond behind. But, again, this is my whole kind of thing. Is Richtofen, trying to find a way into the Dark Ether to somehow go back in time to go rescue his son? Or to save his son, to prevent what happened to his son from happening? But I'm simply saying what we've been given as far as information about this fire, about what happened on this mission between Sam and Weaver, and that stuff from Cold War, and we had always thought that it was Richthofen's kid. Now, you got to remember, we have never been given specific information in Cold War or since that they were talking about Richthofen, his kid, his wife, his family, and any kind in this diary entry or these mission log, whatever. Like, there's nothing that's saying that was actually Richthofen's family. But from what we've been given, again, in this new trailer, apparently his wife and kid died in a fire. So, I don't know. And then again with the audio log talking about the boy, aren't you? And the mother, it wasn't your fault. It can't have been the same thing. It literally cannot have been the same thing because the kid and the mom were in different places. I think there's some intel that said the boy was named Samuel. Richthofen's kid, yes. We know his name is Samuel, yes. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the stream, and I've talked about it before too, but it's particularly interesting. It's something I was mentioning along with, like, how... Because, again, there's the whole thing I was talking about with Thanos, like, at the end of Endgame, like, they kill the Thanos that did the snap, and then there's another Thanos later because they're doing the whole time travel thing. So technically the guy at the end of Endgame that they kill is not the Thanos that did the snap. I mean, it's, anyway, it's what I was talking about with how does this Richthofen know how to make the Wunderwaffe? It's a different version of Richthofen that made the Wunderwaffe back in World War II or right before World War II or whatever. But he's also made, so it's in the 30s or the 40s. I don't know when he actually made it. I don't remember. I don't know if there's there could be a timeline on here somewhere. It doesn't really matter, ultimately. I mean, we know that he made it around the World War II time, right? So how does the Richthofen in 1991 know how to make a Wunderwaffe? I mean, he literally grew up a completely different life than the version of Richthofen from the Ether story. The Ether story, Richthofen was German. For one, he grew up in Germany. This one the one in the Dark Ether story grew up in America. Therefore, completely, in decades apart, completely different life growing up. Like, completely. So how, again, does he know how to build the Wunderwaffe in the 1991 or, in this new era? It doesn't really make sense. Why does it look exactly like, in the new trailer, it looks exactly like the old version of it.
I had to sand my set.
Oh, what, he already grew? The scar on his neck is weird. So now this could be interesting. So we're talking about. Well, let me. I keep getting like new thoughts, and I'm gonna go
Sublevel 10.
do different
Report.
things.
Something's wrong with Sam. Dimensional breaches are occurring across the...
Another thought just popped up into my head. So again, how does he get to make the exact same version of it? Like, this isn't like a new and kind of different version of the Wunderwaffe, even though it's a new and different version of Richthofen. He made the exact same gun. It looks exactly the same. Technology was way different from the 30s to the late 80s, early 90s. So, and again, he was a different person. He grew up and experienced different things than he did the Dark Ether story version of Richthofen as compared to the Ether story of Richthofen. I think the whole point of Operation Janus is to get his wife and son back. I think that's 100%. That's why. I mean, there's no real reason else why he would, other than if, hey, he's just evil and wants to go into the Dark Ether kind of thing. But that doesn't make sense to me. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the whole point of all of this is for him to get his son, at least his son back, but probably his wife and kid. Yes. But anyway, like I'm saying with this, like, this doesn't really track with me. Like, how does it? To me, it doesn't make sense. So there has to be some kind of residual memory or something going on between all the versions. I mean, it would make you insane, though. Think of all the multiverses that we had, like in the old story, and how many versions of each of the characters that were out there. And if you had residual memories from all of them, like, you would go nuts. Like, did that happen to me? Did it happen to something else? Am I making it up? Is it a memory? Like, what's going on? Also, made me think, like, this is kind of... So you see the scar on his neck. There's a big scar here, and they make a point of showing it. Like, being close up to it. Like, again, everything that you're seeing here it's an artist rendering. It's not even... Like, if a camera is on me, like I happen to have like a pimple on my neck or something. Like, is that part of a canon? Is that story lore? Is that, official canon? Like, no, I just had a pimple one day and like nothing I can do about it. And then we go and shoot in 2 days from now, or I'm on camera again, like streaming, and I no longer have it. So like, oh wait, well, that wasn't part of the story. Like, no, but this is like, it's literally drawn. It's put there by the artist for a particular reason. And we're talking about Mighty. What's up, man? 5 more days till Black Ops 6 beta. Yeah, I can't wait for the beta, man. So it's put there for a very specific reason. And now if we go back to these notes, I did my best to dress your wounds, but it was the first and only time I ever saw you cry. You mumbled something about not knowing. You torched the place to cover your tracks after the hit. Was he trying to kill Richtofen? They got into a scuffle. At best, Weaver slashed his neck, but he didn't kill him. And that's where this scar came from. Did the scar on Richtofen's neck? But again, I don't think that's a possible thing that could have happened. I don't think these two stories are matching up. Did he get the scar on his neck, like, because his wife and kid, like, forget these notes and stuff. Forget this stuff. Like, let's say that isn't about Richtofen. But his wife and kid got caught in a house fire, and he tried to go save them, and like, he was going through the doorway through a window and cut his neck, a piece of glass, and he was almost bled out, and he was saved, whatever. So he's alive. I don't know. But they keep making a point of showing that he's got this big scar in his neck. It's very prominent, and you can't help but notice it. So, I don't know, man. The whole thing about the fire, it's just not adding up. It's just not adding up. For the Cold War intel that we have, that we thought was 100% Richtofen's kid and his wife, or at least his kid at the time. And then for Sam to say, and the mother, like about the boy and the mother, it's not adding up. It just doesn't. It literally doesn't work for what they've put, the information that they've given us, that Treyarch has given us. It doesn't work. So again, is somebody misremembering? Is somebody just have bad info? Are they just talking about something else completely? Again, they don't say in these notes from Weaver and Samantha, like, there is nothing. It's not Richtofen's kid, Richtofen's wife. They never specifically say that, any of it. So it's just, we're talking about fires, and we're talking about the boy, the wife, why, if it's not them, why does if it's not Richtofen's kid, why is Richtofen so hell-bent on getting revenge on these guys? Could just be something entirely unrelated that we don't even know about yet. Like, it certainly could be. But to me, it just doesn't work. I think it just doesn't work. And then if they want to kind of come back and clear some stuff up by giving us new information, sure. But as it stands now, excuse me, I'm flat out saying it at this point. This the Cold War intel with Sam talking here. I remember waiting for your call. 10, 11, 12. The phone never rang. Instead, I saw news of the explosion on TV. I couldn't sleep. 3 a.m. I heard a knock at my apartment door. I gave you the key. You gave the keyword, and I let you in. We'd never met face to face. It was a shock to finally meet you. You were in a bad way. I did my best to dress your wounds, but it was the first and only time I ever saw you cry. You mumbled something about not knowing, about how sorry you were. You torched the place to cover your tracks after the hit. Richtofen's not dead, so there was no hit. There could be an attempted hit. Are they saying, like, that's the scar on his neck, like he thought he killed him? But then Weaver sucks at his job, and then he torched the place? Who's reading that? What do you mean, who's reading that? Who's reading this? I mean, Sam wrote it. This is Sam's diary entry when she was in being held captive in Cold War. Being held captive by Richthofen. You said the boy was supposed to be staying with his mother, but he wasn't. He was there in the house while it burned to the ground. But okay, then Richthofen's kid and wife couldn't have died at the same time then. Because he's not staying with the mother, he's staying with the father. Meaning the mother is somewhere else. Meaning the father and the mother were separated. I mean, you could just simply go, well, yeah, they got back together for a night. They were trying to work things out, I suppose. I mean, it's as simple as that. Again, you can retcon the hell out of anything. You put these things out there, and then you can literally just go back and go, yeah, but it was because of whatever. And you can throw in whatever you want, and to make it make sense. And that would make sense. You know, yeah, they had split up. They're having a trial separation, but, you know, things were going a little bit better. So they decided to, you know, give it another shot, and they were having a family night kind of a thing. And, you know, like, yeah, whatever. And again, the scar on his neck could be Weaver cut his neck, like tried to slice the artery there to make him bleed out, thought he had done a good job of it. Set the fire, the explosion, maybe, you know, turn the gas on, leave a candle burning, walk out. And in the process of doing, like, cutting Richthofen's neck there, you know, Richthofen, he wasn't like sleeping and everything. He was awake, and they got into a fight, and that's why Sam had to dress his wounds and whatever. But now we're really like, now I'm adding like a ton of story to this rather than what we're actually given. We weren't given any of this stuff. But I mean, that's what happens in a lot of stuff in zombies stories. So it's not wrong. I just don't know. Like, I don't want to make my own story here. I'm trying to, you know, interpret theirs. I'm not trying to make my own. So but to me, that's the only way this works, is if you put something together that's not already there. You have to make up you have to create this other story over here that they're not giving us for us to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? And then, because if none of this is true, like what we were thinking, like if that stuff's not true, then this like literally cannot be the soul of Richtofen's son Samuel, because he wouldn't have died in that fire. Like, this wouldn't be about them at all. So he wouldn't have died in that fire, at least. Maybe it's a different fire, and again, that's why the whole thing is burnt. But is it Richthofen? I don't know. But yeah, and it is weird that, again, I mentioned at the top of the stream that Richthofen names his kid Samuel. There's two other Sams in the entire story, a zombie storyline that we've, had. There's Samuel Stuhlinger, who was the only member of the Victus crew that could hear Richthofen because, he ate the zombie meat and whatever. But he could hear Richthofen. And then one other Sam that we know is Samantha. And he names his kid Samuel. So, like, even if he doesn't remember Samuel Stuhlinger, he would still remember Samantha Maxis. Or would he? I mean, because again, there is intel in Cold War. Like, she's talking about trying to remember the past, and she doesn't. Or at least how much does she remember? I mean, the two of them, at the end of Tag Their Totem, they're literally walking through the black tunnel to the light. So what happens at the other end of that tunnel, like when they walk through it? I mean, literally, what happens? Where are they? Do they walk out and, like, when they go through that barrier, like, they're just unconscious and have no... I don't know. Do they get separated immediately? Like, they wouldn't do that. Like, people that find them wouldn't do that. They would assume probably, like, hey, brother and sister, whatever, like... So they have to know each other before, like, from kids, and then they also grow up to be working in basically the same field, but as as opposition to each other. And Sam is German, and Richthofen is American. I don't know. There's like so much that's missing. Like, just the basics, like, it's just some kind of backstory to, like, what is going on. Like, it's just, because I don't know. I have no idea. And I don't know how to, like, kind of reconcile the two. And it just seems like, part of me is wondering how much they're retconning already with, well, the community put together from that, from these notes, or from the intel, that was Richthofen's kid. And then they said something about and the mother. Like, so are they doing this now to be like, yeah, that'd be kind of a fun story. That was good.
Fire! Run! For God's sakes!
I mean, she kind of looks like a girl I used to date, to be honest with you. So, I don't know. I'm trying to look up. Because you could be right. He could be saying fire there, run. But I don't know. To me, it sounds like he's saying Maya. Yeah, and I'm just trying to look up if there was anything in, like, the COD wiki about, like, is there Richthofen's... Like, did somebody get some information from Treyarch already for the new game and, like, find out what Richthofen's wife's name was? But I don't see anything. Kyoko? What is this? A German side isn't good. Probably. This is like fan fiction stuff. Okay, never mind. Anyway, I don't know. Weird how there was toys of... Toys of Victus in the house back in BO2 Origins. Well, that was, again, it comes down to the eye color and who's controlling who. And they're talking about, the child Sam and child Eddie are talking about, I want to have a turn. You're always do blah, 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 whatever they, say. And so you can look at it as, it's not really the Victus crew. It's their imagination. It's their toys, right? I'm trying to, like, if I pulled my monkey animal there and the bear that's over there on my bookshelf, and I'm playing, here, and in the story that I'm telling, like, that would be the two characters. So it's not a real Victus crew. It's their playthings. You know what I mean? It kind of like I'm trying to think of a good analogy, like something something's working. You got to remember too, like BO2 with Mob and Origins, especially Origins. that's a transition from Jimmy Zielinski to Jason Blundell. And Blundell did Mob and he did Origins. Those were the first two that he directed. And before that, like everything else was Jimmy Zielinski directing things. And Zielinski was more of just like a. It was far more scattershot. It was just kind of random stuff all over the place and whatever. But it was kind of a straighter story. And then Blundell kind of added this time travel, multi-dimensional, multi-universe aspect to things and kind of pulled out we thought everything that we're seeing was the world, and then we pulled back and then realized, oh no, that's just what's happening on my desk here. Like the world is actually way bigger, and that's where things kind of get screwy for Blundell BO3, like I said, best thing ever. And he was great. But the whole multi-universe, time-traveling, crossing paths, like it got so convoluted, man. You always want to think like that everything you're seeing is what was intended from the get-go. And it's definitely not the case. It's just not. Like, the best way to think, if you ever watched the TV show Lost, and there's a bunch of reasons for it, and there's a show I really liked. But it was like they have an idea, and you might even know the end. You might know the beginning, you might know the end. But the middle part, especially when you're trying to fill time, stretch things out, you start adding things, and you start messing up the story. Like the lore, the whole, what the world is supposed to be, you start messing that up completely. And it's just because you're trying to fill time because, hey, it's popular. And again, BO3 was supposed to be the end of the Ether story. But we got BO4, the final 3 maps. I mean, it literally says, at the end of Garad Krovi, it says, to be concluded in Revelations. And then at the end of Revelations, it literally says, the end. It was done. It was over. People didn't like the final cutscene as the end note. It was just like, well, it's too ambiguous. What is this? What's going on? What does it mean? Because people wanted it wrapped up nicely, put in a bow on it. Like, here explains everything. Ta-da! And I get the impulse, by the way. I understand that. But then I don't know who said it to who, but for sure, we know that Blundell wanted to do his own thing. And up to then, he was only redoing or continuing on from what Jimmy Zielinski had done before that. And he wanted to do his own story, which is why we got the Chaos Crew in Black Ops 4. We got a completely separate story. Again, because it was done. And the reason why I think, anyway, that we got, for the Ether stuff in BO4, that we got 3 remakes / remasters, whatever, with Blood, Tag, and Alpha, is because they had those files and that didn't start getting worked on until later. Again, that story was done, and I don't know if it was Activision, I don't know if it was, other people at Trek, whatever, saying like, hey, they weren't, meaning us, weren't crazy about how BO3 ended, how the story concluded, so why don't we give them something more concrete? Or if it was somebody at Activision just being like, hey, Black Ops 3 sold really well. Zombies Chronicles sold extraordinarily well. Why are we stopping their storyline? And so they, I don't know what was the impetus for those final 3 maps, but it was done. And Blundell has talked about he wanted to do his own thing and move on from that story. He liked the story. He did a lot with it, but he wanted to be done and move on. That's why we got the Chaos Crew. Because that was like, okay, that's over. Now here's my creation from the get-go. And unfortunately, that was the only iteration of it we ever got. And then he left by the end of BO4. By the end of that first year, Blundell was gone. Do you think Rick Toffin will be a playable character in Liberty Falls? No. Like I said, at the end of Terminus, I think that's what I was talking about with the whole where you see Pack-a-Punch and things breaking up. Exactly this. We go through the portal. So, this is we've just beaten the Terminus Easter egg. And there's some kind of major battle, some kind of thing, like an explosion of some sort. Something happens. You remember, we got the big-ass ether cannon there, too. Like, there's stuff going on there. And Sam is opening up portals throughout the world. There, I mean, at least in those two locations that we know of, Terminus and Liberty Falls. We know that. And then we get the Stranger Things portal, and then we go through it. And one more time, that is 100% Pack-a-Punch. We saw where it was on Terminus. You can see our characters literally falling down through, like, we just went through the portal, right? And now we're going through the water down. There's probably another portal down below. And we're going to zap our crew from Terminus Island to Liberty Falls. Almost guaranteed. I won't say almost guaranteed. That is 100% what I think is going to happen. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm saying I absolutely think that is what is going to happen. I don't think they will give us this new crew. Our major complaint from Cold War was, why are we playing as generic operators? So they're finally giving us a crew to play as. I don't think they're going to take it away from us in the second map. I mean, and it could be your first map. It just depends on what you play, because they're both coming out the same day. These are both on day of release maps. So, no, I think it's 100% going to be we're playing as the same crew. We're literally going to fall through a teleporter or from a portal, and we're going to be zapped from Terminus Island to Liberty Falls. And that's how it's going to work. If we do play as Richtofen, though, it would be interesting who the other three are. Yeah, I mean, I suppose. I mean, you could, but then, I mean, you could just, it would be three random characters probably that we've never heard of. Because it wouldn't make sense to have, like, they're not going to give us two crews. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's no way we play as two separate crews on day one. And we know that we're only going forward with Weaver, Carver, Gray, and Maya. Like, there's no way. No way. The only thing that would make sense to me, other than, like, if somehow this is not, I mean, they literally show it. To me, there's no way that this is not us going through. This is, like, what else could this be other than a portal into a, like, it can't be anything else. And then we literally see falling through. And again, that is 100% Pack-a-Punch right there. I mean, it's possible that, like, from the water in Terminus, like, to could be a church in Liberty Falls. The Pack-a-Punch kind of a thing, like, this is the in-between world, like, in between the portals. That stuff from both of those places is in this area. Like, that's possible. But I just don't see, like, because again, you don't have to play as the set crew. You can play as a generic operator if you want to, and you can play as Klaus. You can play as what's his name? Adler. You can play as Park as well from Cold War. So you can play as generic operators, but there's no way we get Richtofen and just some generic operators. And they're not going to give us two crews to like disregard one of those crews altogether after that. Like, no way. Absolutely no way. So I still think, by the way, there is a legit good chance that, Sam, again, from the beginning of from the end, I guess, of this trailer, I mean, the guy literally says here, Samantha's...
Dimensional breach in progress.
Sublevel 10, report.
Something's wrong with Sam. Dimensional breaches are occurring across the facility.
Something's wrong with Sam. Dimensional breaches are happening across the facility. Sam, it's Samantha. We know it's Samantha because when we get a little bit further, he gets into this elevator and he's going down, and then we see the purple smoke. And then he literally starts talking to Sam. So here comes the purple smoke. Grab. I swear to you, Sam, you'll never be free. Yoink. Still, this is weird to me. Like, I don't know where he just got pulled to. Did he get just pulled into the dark ether? Into what we're about to see? This? She breaks the Wonder Walk. Is she? I mean, we know she's in there, right? But Edward, I already am free. So, did she just pull him into the container, the Sophia container, which again is like where they house the, you know, again from the end of Forsaken. Here, oh, and then she flew into his stomach to the dark ether, and then that gets all you see it getting pulled in. They're literally containing it into the Sophia ball, like, so that is essentially the gateway to the dark ether in the Sophia ball. That building kind of looks like it was in a fire. I mean, yeah, it certainly could, or exploded, or whatever. I mean, one and the same, I guess, but. Yeah, so anyway, there's a lot of questions, and you know, we had thought, kind of we being like the community in general, thought for sure that those notes and that intel from Cold War was talking absolutely about Richthofen and his kid and his wife, and I'm flat out saying it cannot be unless we are missing great swaths of information. I mean, it's not even great like that much, but there needs to be clarification, because it literally, if you go by what they are saying in the intel, and it does not line up at all. It cannot be. Or again, really kind of all they would have to do is say they were separated, and they like I already said, like they were tried to get back together for a night and to see if things would work out. We've been doing it, and the wife and the kid also happened to be there. And why was Weaver going to murder Richthofen? It was an officially sanctioned murder, but you know, the hit. But why? And then if he's able after that to go on to become the head of a department in the CIA of, you know, Requiem, who put out this hit, and like, you know, so I don't know. They always do this to ours. Every answer opens up a whole spider web. Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. And that's the thing, is you kind of, when you're doing these stories, you kind of like, you be as specifically vague as possible. I know it's just kind of an oxymoron, but that's the point, is you're being specific about some things, but vague about the overarching thing. So you can always, if you thought you were going to go right, you still leave yourself open to going left, to going straight, chuck it in reverse if you want to. So yes, specifically vague, I think, is really probably the proper term. They set these things up, but it's also kind of why we dig this stuff. Although, again, I think a more simple, like, and I think they're kind of doing that. I don't. One of the things that I had been hoping for, and kind of got with Cold War, was they needed to ditch the old story. They needed to be done with it, because if you're a new person trying to come into that story, good luck, because it's so complicated and it's so confusing and so friggin' convoluted, and flat out in a lot of places just doesn't make sense. Like, what are you supposed to do with it? Like, other than, like, you might enjoy the gameplay, you might like doing the Easter eggs, you might just like doing high rounds, but you're not going to be emotionally invested. Was kind of the whole complaint we had about Cold War. Like, why was Raptor 1 our favorite character from Cold War? Because he was basically the only character from Cold War. That's why. And it's not a guy we even ever saw. We saw the back of his head, helmet. Like, you didn't even see him. And it's like, oh, Kravchenko Raptor 1. Like, well, no way, man. We got to get, Raptor 1 back. So, yeah, you gotta get your emotionally invested in the story to get people to come back and to come back and come back. Like, puzzles are fun. I like doing puzzles. It's part of the reason why I like zombies. But if there's no more attachment other than, like, let's just solve some puzzles, who kind of, like, you're going to go away. Yeah, so again, I think it would be good for them if they can be more specific, if they can be less mystical. And I think the crew that they have there is that. Again, to me, I don't think we should be playing, doing characters from the Ether story, from the old crew at all. Like, it should have been something along the lines of the Chaos crew, where we got a completely brand new story. Had nothing to do with the old stuff, because there's always going to be things that, like, for new people that, like, I mean, a friend of mine, I told you guys, he's getting into zombies, and I play with him, like, it's really like once a week. He doesn't have a lot of time to do it. But he had a question for me. We were playing Drak last week, and I was kind of like, who's your favorite character? And he's kind of like, I don't know, like, who are they? And he asked me a question like, is this guy important for later or whatever? And I don't even remember the question. It was kind of like, because we'd played through Cold War, and he's like, does it matter as far as the story goes into, like, MW3 or for the new game for Black Ops 6? It's like, well, kind of. And then I started going through the whole multiverse kind of a thing, and I'm trying to explain Richthofen from Drak to Black Ops 4 to Cold War to now into Black Ops 6, and, like, how do you do that for somebody that doesn't know what's going on in the story? Like, and I wasn't here from the beginning. I can't tell you the story from, like, especially with all the multiverse stuff and the intersecting timelines and the chronological order of when things actually happen. As far as the storyline goes, not when they were released chronologically. I'm talking about actual storyline stuff. Like, it's impossible, man. Imagine the answer to all this is in the BO3 Impossible Easter egg. So, what's funny is I was literally just thinking that because, so this guy put out a video yesterday. And I was retweeting because... So then Glitching Queen came out. So don't ask... You got to watch the guy's video. I don't remember his name. I was going to look it up, and I don't remember the guy's name. And now everybody's putting out videos like, this is the Impossible Easter egg, and here's the Easter egg, the Impossible Easter egg explained. And it's like, it's not confirmed yet. At least as far as I know. I'm trying to find the guy's video. I watched it last night. Like I said, I watched literally everything Zombies Cold War from Treyarch last night. So I'm going through my history right now on YouTube. There's a lot to scroll through. Here we go. The Impossible Easter. Skype in it. That's the guy's name. Hold on. I'll even put it in the chat. That's the Impossible Easter egg video that this guy made. He's been working on it. Glitching Queen's been working on it forever. I actually even tried to hop on. I was going through Discord conversation I had with her. Like, it's from like a year and a half ago now. About it earlier today. But the video ends with, it's talking about this and the KN-44, and this is the like a 4-dimensional cube, and actually it's called a tesseract. And I don't really understand this at all. But like the whole solution that people are coming to with the, you know, the funny thing is that at the end of the guy's video, he's like, it's about the KN-44, but like, is the actual impossible Easter egg the blueprint for the KN-44? This is on the Giant, by the way, and this was thrown on top of, like, this is not filled in like this in the actual blueprint on the Giant. But I don't think like that's the solution. I think that's like a major piece to the what will be the solution, and that was what the guy was basically saying in his video last night too. But now people are just like coming out today, like, or in, you know, Glitch and Queen, she knows way, like I know half of a percent about any of this stuff, but she's, you know, asked people to retweet this stuff, and you can certainly do it. My Twitter's linked down below. You can just retweet. I retweeted hers, as you can see, so you can just go ahead and retweet that, or I did this here to, you know, whatever. We're just trying to get a response from Treyarch, and it might have happened since I've been streaming for the last 2 hours. I don't know. But that, like, this was the solution. This was the final impossible Easter egg. And because the reason why KN-44 is because there's like again, doing the math on this 4-dimensional cube is like K-4, N-4 kind of a thing, and you put the two together and you get KN-44. And the gun was originally not called the KN-44. It was called like the Arc Light or something like that, and then they changed it during the beta. It was called like the Arc 7 or something. And then they changed it from the beta to the actual game being released to the KN-44. And so is that it? But to me, this is not the end. This is a step, or a major step. Oh, this is the guy, by the way. Skype. And you can see again the 4-dimensional cube, which is again a tesseract. Math and me don't get along, so. And you can see here, this is the summoning key around it. So I don't know but the solution being KN-44. I don't know that. Again, that's not the solution. That, to me, like, it doesn't seem. I mean, it could be. I don't know. But it seems like that's a big step in the final solution. What will be the? Isn't that like a the final solution? Isn't that like an old German World War II? Like, oh, okay. That's not what I meant. Like, to the end, big solution. So I don't know. It's like the KN-44 is part of it. So, well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, some people think like this is the solution, like, because this blueprint is on the Giant. And by the way, like, it's not the KN-44 in there, by the way, or the KN is there, but it's not like outlined like this. Like, it doesn't look like this. But to me, again, that's not the solution. That's part of the solution. Like, what will end up being, like, you need X times Y plus A. Like, this is the X, but there's still like a Y and an A that we need. But I don't know. I really don't know. Surely the blueprint itself isn't the Easter egg. Yeah, I mean, that's what I don't think so either. Let me just scroll through. I just want to make sure like nothing has been confirmed yet. No. Nothing's been confirmed since I went live here, so yeah, so the funny thing is that and again, you should watch that video that I posted in the chat there. The guy made a good video about this. And he's been working on this stuff for a long time. So as you know, Glitch and Queen and whatever. Like I said, I was trying to help her search for some stuff last year. We were on DE, but I mean, it's just like it literally could have been anything. But the thing is, too, the reason why I don't think that this is the solution is that the Easter egg spanned multiple maps. It doesn't, not necessarily all the maps from BO3, but it did span multiple maps. So I don't think the KN blueprint on the giant is the solution. Or is, it's not the answer. I don't think. But again, I'm not fully up on this kind of stuff. And I haven't watched any of these, I know Raffle Waffles came out with a video today about it, and I just saw it when I think Chopper just put out a video as well. But nothing's been confirmed yet, so whatever. Like I said, I don't know. So I'll watch some stuff after this, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll think it really is the answer. I don't know. The thing is, too, is like what they were saying in the guy's video, he was talking to some devs from Treyarch, like anonymously, and they're like, if that is a thing, then Blundell put it in himself. We don't know. Like, Blundell put it in. And apparently, like, these ciphers and everything were always last-minute additions. And by the way, the guy was just like, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but the dev was just like, which would not be unusual, by the way, for Blundell to put something in like that himself. This is an impossible Easter egg. He was very specifically putting something in there that hopefully, like, we would never be able to solve. Because he's like, well, I put a bunch of stuff in before that I didn't think anybody would ever get, and like 2 days later, it's done. And he's like, it's not going to be something that you can just go into the PC game files and like pull out and see it. It's not an activatable kind of a thing. And he was talking about how he put in blueprint scraps from like, and tore it up. Like, took basically, if you thought like, take this blueprint and just tear it into like 20 pieces or something and like leave scraps all around. He's like, I thought it would take people forever to actually piece it together. And he's like, a day later, you guys can solve it. So he went in specifically to make an impossible Easter egg, something that we would not be able to solve. And I'm not a cipher person, so like any kind of cipher, like I'm never going to get that. And in fairness, it's been not quite 8 years, but almost 8 years since Black Ops 3 came out. So imagine you can make it your starting weapon. Oh, the KN? See, like something like that would be interesting, like if that's... But it's not something that's activatable, so it wouldn't be that, though. Is that the ball from Revelation? Yeah, this is the summoning key. It's in Shadows of Evil, the very end of when the cutscene, when Richtofen shows up, the characters, the trains in the middle, the cutscene, Richtofen comes in and yoinks the summoning key away. And then Drak at the very end, the cutscene, again, to collect Dempsey's soul. And the giant, I think you can see him pulling it out as well when he leans over dead Richtofen. You see him reach for something. I don't think you actually see him pull it out in that cutscene, though. I don't think you see it actually in Zets. I'm trying to think of that cutscene again, and I don't think you actually see it. And then in Garad, at the end, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen those ones. But then, of course, in Revelations, and then in Black Ops 4, I think of the end of Tag der Toten when they, the Vril device and the summoning key and it explodes and whatever. So I don't know. I'll have a look at these guys' videos and see, like, is this it? But I mean, we posted this stuff. When was this? This was last night, 5:30 p.m. my time. I was reposting. I know a lot of people. Well, you can see 373 people reposted it. Like, I think we would have had a response probably by now from somebody at Treyarch. But again, this wasn't Treyarch's thing per se. It was Blundell's. And Blundell is not on social media. So we can't go directly to him, or they can't. I shouldn't sound like we, like I'm a part of it. like they can't go directly to Blundell and be like, "Is this it?" So you've got to just wait for it basically to get back to Blundell somehow. Somebody tells them about it. I'm sure some of these people have ways of getting in touch with him through email, or I don't know if they have his phone or whatever. I don't know. But to be like, is this it? Because he had said, the whole thing with the whole 8 years is like he'd said, I'll tell you in 8 years or something like that if it's still not solved. So everybody was like, okay, well, that means, like I said, in like 2 months, that's 8 years since Black Ops 3 came out. But he actually said in 8 years, and it was like 8, 9, 10 months after the game had come out. So it's like not 2 months from now, it's like 10 months from now. Would be the 8 years from when he said that in an interview. So who knows if we're actually get the answer. So this will get back to him, I would assume, somehow. Like I said, somebody's going to have his email or know somebody that in common, or maybe they just know him directly. I don't know. I'm like, hey, is this it? And then you see, if it's not it, he'd probably just be like, like he's going to be coy about it, but I don't know. We'll see. Are we now at the time where he said he would let us know? I just told you. So technically, it's like he said the whole 8 year thing, 8 years from now, but he said it in an interview with Dalek or Noah, or I don't remember who it was, or it could have been Milo. It was like June of whatever. So it would be 2017, I guess. So 8 years would be 2025 in like June. So it's not like in 2 months when Black Ops 3 came out. It was during the Black Ops 3 season. But again, like in June of the following year. All right. So, did we cover everything we needed to cover for as far as Liberty Falls goes? I still find it very curious. Not still, but I find it very curious. Like the stuff that we went over with the intel. It just doesn't completely line up, man. And I just realized I cut this off. I couldn't get it all in one picture. Like, it really isn't making sense unless that scar on Rick Toffan's neck is from Weaver trying to kill him. But then again, Weaver would have to be bad at his job because he didn't realize he didn't kill him. And Rick Toffan got out. And that the kid wasn't staying with his mother, meaning they were... Did they just have bad intel and they didn't even realize they were separated? Like that would be really bad. Or are they just literally talking about somebody else, and then they've just decided, the writers have just decided, hey, why don't we make it so Rick Toffan and his wife and his kid die in a fire, and they think it's this, but it's not actually this that we got the intel from, Cold War. But then we'd have to have a different reason why Rick Toffan is so hell-bent on locking Sam into the dark ether, getting, really messing with her, and then locking up Weaver and his guys. Why does Rick Toffan want them so bad? So I don't know. Like, why does he have it out for them so bad? Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Okay. All right, that's all I had. There could even be two Rick Toffans. Maybe Sam replaces him with another. No. I'm not going there. That's too much for me. I mean, like I said, I think they realize over there being Treyarch, that things got really convoluted. And that as successful as, it was, you're kind of... It makes it impossible for new people to get involved. Nearly impossible. Again, I wasn't here from World at War, on. I came in later. But I don't fully understand the story either.
My orders, Weaver. I assist with the infill, but then...
This one is what really has me.
Can't
risk any mistakes. We both know how badly things can go south if we act impulsively. You're talking about the boy, aren't you?
You're talking about...
And the mother.
aren't you?
And the mother.
It wasn't your fault. It wasn't yours either, Sam.
fault.
So, are these two completely separate instances from her note, the diary entry number 9? Like, it could be that, too. It could be a completely separate thing that we're talking about. Yeah, because I don't know. It's just, it literally doesn't work the way they, at least the way we think that they have it. Let me put it that way. So yeah, Virulent, that's the song that was playing at the beginning that I couldn't play. And it ended Cold War, and it begins BO6. And then, of course, you can go to Pink Floyd and listen to the song Vera. You can look up Janus. You can do some research on the Wunderwaffe. How did this Richtofen know how to make a Wunderwaffe? How does it look exactly the same as the old Wunderwaffe? Because they're different people. Different versions of the same person, I guess. Like there's it's more questions than answers, I guess, is the way we can put it. You should go to my channel and you should subscribe. You can do that right now, just down below. It's completely free. Sale this month. It's completely free to subscribe. And that's it. Okay. I think he has shared memories with his other selves. I mean, it's got to be something along those kinds of lines. It just kind of has to be. Otherwise, that's one hell of a coincidence, man. Like, really, one hell of a coincidence that he would make the same Wonder Weapon. There is even a thing called the Wonder Weapon. 40-something years apart as two completely separate people. Like, that would be remarkable. And again, literally grew up in different countries, had completely different experiences growing up in the two versions. So the references, the ideas, the motivations, the influences would have all been different. So there's got to be some kind of shared memory, shared something. Shared psyche, I don't know. Something. There has to be something. It cannot be coincidence. That would be the dumbest thing. Like, it can't just be that. That would be terrible. So yeah. So if there is news on, I mean, I probably won't make a video on it. I don't even think, like I said, I could explain it to you even if I wanted to about the whole impossible Easter egg, if that actually is what it is. But I will let you guys know, like during a stream, or you can follow my Twitter. If Glitch and Queen or whoever tweets out like, "Hey, we got confirmation," and they make a video, I will let you guys know through my Twitter at least, or I'll tell you about it during a stream, which will happen soon. I almost streamed last night because I got the Bloodburner key back, and then I was like, well, it was like 11 p.m. and I'm like, I'm not going to start a stream right now. And I was like, maybe I could just record it, but I didn't do that. So I'm waiting before I go into the new. I mean, I did the story mission obviously for MW3, but I will. I will stream it. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to stream tomorrow. But I will stream doing that, and then we will go in and we'll try to get to the schematics and all that kind of stuff. All right. That's all I have on Liberty Falls, man. I think it's an amazing trailer. I really do. It's got me ridiculously excited for this game to come out. I think it's one of the best trailers that they've ever done, and to be honest with you, I can't really even put my finger on why precisely I think it's so good. But it is. I mean, I think it is. So anyway, I'm just excited, man. And then, of course, the 28th, I think that's Wednesday, is COD Next. I mean, I'll be on before Wednesday with you guys, streaming stuff. But that is COD Next, and we're going to get a lot of more zombie stuff. A lot more Liberty Falls zombie stuff at that point. So I didn't think that we got this trailer was even surprising to me. So we're definitely going to get some gameplay. Same thing with Terminus. We got the intro cutscene. And, for all we know, that could be the intro cutscene to Terminus. I mean, to Liberty Falls. That's not necessarily just, a trailer. That could be the intro cutscene. That's what leads us into that map. So what we get from COD Next, and again, I will live stream that. I'm sure we're going to get more gameplay stuff from Liberty Falls, and there probably will be the explanation of the crew and how do we get over there, and if this is happening at the same time, how do we play at the same, the two maps at the same time. I think my idea is correct on that one though. Being the portal that I showed you. Where is it? Here, this. I'm almost sure of it. I would bet money on it, but whatever. And anything else? I don't know. There is a multiplayer reveal game. Is it a trailer or some gameplay or something that's coming out at 7 a.m. tomorrow or Monday? I will not be streaming that. I will be sleeping. And it's multiplayer, so it's not my milieu. But just to let you guys know that it is out. We are in that time of year, man. We're gonna get this stuff, and then at the end of this coming week, that's when the beta starts. The 28th, and then we've got 5 straight days of that, and then 2 days off, and then 4 more days of beta. So lots of BO6 stuff, and then there's going to be normally what happens is we're in the middle of it now. We've been getting the Terminus stuff, we got Liberty Falls stuff, we're getting multiplayer stuff, then we're going to COD Next, then we got the beta for 2 weeks, and then it's going to go quiet for the last month and a half until we actually get something, until it actually comes out. What we probably will find out too with this COD Next is the early access stuff, because if you guys remember the initial thing, it leaked in, I had it live on stream when we went to pre-order it, or when you went to go look at it, the game in the store. It was October 25th. That's when the game comes out, but then there was also early access on the 17th. And there has been rumors for almost a year now that potentially the last 2 years has been early access a week early for the campaign, and the rumor for a while now has been we're going to get early access to zombies. Don't think it's actually going to happen. I would love it if it did, because 2 maps at once is a lot of it's a lot of split time, and you're not really able to focus. I really wish it would be forget the seasons, every 2 months. Give us something every month, a new map, or do whatever. But whatever. I'm not going to complain about getting 2 maps. I just wish it would some space between the two. But I still think it's going to be we get early access to the campaign, and then we're going to get both zombies maps at launch, and that's it. But we will I'm sure get more info on that during COD Next. And again, I will be live streaming COD Next, so we can all deal with it and talk about it and chat about it together. All right, and that's it. I will catch you probably tomorrow. And we'll do some more MWZ. And hopefully my game won't be glitched again like it was 2 days ago. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's fully believable because it's MW3, but anyway, all right, that's it. Have a great day, guys. I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.